Hi, this is Mrs. Prosser, and I want to show you how to meet one of the standards on the rubric for your presentations, the standard about uniform and professionalism. How do you make your slides look uniform and professional? So let's take a look over here. This is the A category, so we want to make sure we meet these minimums. And this is saying here, all slides use the same coloring. They use 1 to 2 fonts, 1 to 2 text sizes, and have proper capitalization. So right now, let's walk through doing this. To start, I'm going to look at the first part, same coloring. So let me go to my slides, and I'm going to be looking through these to see if they all use the same coloring. So I have white text here and kind of a dark green background. This slide, this text is gray. So I actually want to change this so it's white. It'll be easier to see too on that dark background. Here, okay, I still have white text. Here I have black text, but it makes sense to have black text here because white text would be too hard to see. And I can show you guys that. So white text is going to be a little difficult to read. So if you're having a hard time sticking with one color because of the text not being legible and clear, you can always switch to black or white to make it more clear. I've got dark green text here for my title and white, dark green and black, dark green and black, dark green, black, and oh, blue. I need to get rid of the blue. Let me change that to black. So you'll see I've got really 3 colors for my text that I'm using, black, white, and this dark green. Let me keep going, dark green, black. Oh, here's red. Let me get rid of that. Black, black. Okay, so now I'm done with the coloring. Let me go back to my rubric and see what's next. So I've got the same coloring. The next is 1 to 2 fonts. What I'd want to do is make sure I go through and look and see if I've messed up any of the fonts. So this one is cabin. This one is cabin. Okay, so I want to make sure I'm using cabin. It looks like all of my, if I click on each text box, I can double check, and it looks like for me, all of them are already set to cabin. So I think I'm good on this. Yeah, so each time you click on a text box, you should be looking up here to see, is it the font you want? And as I click through these, I'm seeing that every one of them is set to cabin. If something is not set to the same font, and maybe you have a different font for your titles, maybe your titles have a cool font, that's okay. Make sure you stick to 2 fonts though. So I've actually already looked through this, and all of mine are set to the same font, so I'm good. So I'm going to move on to the next part of the rubric, 1 to 2 text sizes. So let's take a look at the text sizes. This is easy to miss. So your title slide, you're going to have a giant title. This is 96. I'm not going to worry about resizing all my slides to be 96. So you can kind of go crazy with the first slide being extra large. But let me take a look at the other slides. So here, this is size 20. So I want to make sure that all of my captions for my text or for my images, all of those captions should be the same size. So this is size 20. They should all be size 20. So let me go through and check. This is size 20. This is size 26. Uh-oh, I better change that to, oh, and you can type in a size and hit enter to set it. Okay, this looks too small. That's size 12. It needs to be 20. My titles are size 54, it looks like. So size 54, good. Size 36, good. Size 36, 54. 54, 18, uh-oh, that's supposed to be 20. So basically you're just going through and double checking that you have consistent sizing. So like all your titles should be the same size. All your captions should be the same size. I actually am using 3 different sizes of text. I'm using 1 for the titles, 1 for the body text, and then 1 for my captions. That's okay, but you want to keep it consistent. So like this is too big, it should be size 20. This is 20, good. This is 54, good. This is 54. This is size, 16. I need to change that to 20. And this, let's see, that's 20. All right, 20, good. So I'm pretty much good with that part of the rubric. Let's see, now I've got one last section, proper capitalization. What should your capitalization look like in your slides? Well, in your slides, the first thing you want to do is look at titles. Any titles should be capitalized. So the first slide, you should have your career capitalized. Your name should be capitalized. For these sections, for like captions, the first letter is good to capitalize. You don't have to capitalize the other things unless you have a website name. You know, if I said courtesy, you know, this guy on Twitter or something like that, I'd want to make sure I capitalize the website. Other things, let's go down. So this is good. If it's a person's name, capitalize it. This looks good. Titles, all the keywords in a title should be capitalized. So this one, I should see day and job capitalized. Also, the first letter of a title always gets capitalized, even if it's a small word. Normally those small words in the middle, you don't capitalize, but here we're going to capitalize that first letter. So let's look at other examples. Salary, this should be capitalized. It's in my title. Education, this should be capitalized. It's in my title. If you have bullet points, like these, I actually want to make bullet points. If you have bullet points, after each bullet point, you want the first letter to be capitalized. So capitalize the first letter after bullet points. If they're titles, like bachelor's degree in geology is generally, you would generally capitalize this because it is a specific type of degree and the major is geology. But basically, let's see, here's another example. If you have bullet points down here, I capitalize all the first letters after bullet points and not the second word unless it's a formal title that I need to capitalize. So ocean floor, floor doesn't need to be capitalized. But in my title up here, the second word, if it's a key word, should be capitalized. So basically, you want to take some time to go through and make sure your titles are all capitalized properly. If you have a full question, like if it's a full sentence with a question on the end, or a question mark on the end, go ahead and put a question mark, and you only need to capitalize the first word. Conclusion. Now, I did notice that I missed something when I was going through this. This is the last thing I'll go through. I was looking at my titles, and I noticed they're all green, except this one. I changed the color to black. I changed it to the wrong color. So I need to make sure I go back and change that to that dark green color so it matches. I think that's about it for that category of the rubric. You want to take some time to make sure you have the same coloring, fonts, text sizes, and capitalization. And you'll notice it's a pain to go through this. You really have to go and click on every text box to make sure everything's the right size and color and font. That's the only way to double check. You want to go through and click on every text box and double check that everything is set to be the same, because that automatically makes your presentation look more professional. Thank you for watching.